Hi everyone. Today we're doing an all-incorporative chair yoga practice. So meaning we're going to work with the upper body, do some leg strength and stability, maybe some hip openers. Really just a practice that if you can't make it to a chair yoga class that day, or you're just looking for a really well-rounded practice in the chair, this one's for you. So finding your comfortable seat, we'll just take a few moments to settle in. You're welcome to float the eyes closed or keep them open. First and foremost, just connecting to your breathing. Notice what you came to your chair with at this time. If you haven't done so already, begin to slow down your breathing. And if you feel you're breathing more in the area of the chest and shoulders, maybe start to bring some breath awareness to the diaphragm and belly. You can place a palm there and take a few deep breaths in and out. The belly expands into the palm on your breath in and draws back towards the spine on your breath out. If the palm was at the belly, you can relax the palm maybe back to your thigh or knee. Gently roll your shoulders up, back, and down to create a little more space between ears and shoulders. If the eyes were closed, softly float them open. On your next breath in, reach the arms out and up overhead. Maybe palms touch, or depending on shoulders, palms are separated. And then begin to twist to your right side. Reaching to the back of the chair with your right hand. If you're seated towards the back of the chair and you want some more space to explore, I invite you to sit a little further towards the edge of the chair so your pelvis tilts forward, and working on maybe a little bit of a deeper sensation in the twist. Slowly return to center, reach the arms out and up. And then twisting towards your left side. As you twist and reach back for the chair, a gentle reminder when using a prop like a chair that you don't use the chair to pull the body deeper than it wants to go. So using it as just a kind of grounding effect. Something to hold on to, but not necessarily to pull or push the body into something that it's not ready to do or doesn't want to do. Slowly return to center, reach the arms out and up. And then send the arms out and down to your sides. Now here you can allow the arms to dangle if it's more comfortable. You can have them resting on the thighs. Shoulder shrugs. On your next breath in, try to keep the head and neck steady. Draw your shoulders up towards your ears. Really exaggerate that shrug. Breathe. Now keeping the shoulders up, but draw shoulder blades back behind you like there's a tennis ball in between your shoulder blades and you're trying to hold on to it. And then draw the shoulders down away from the ears, as far down as they'll go. And then send shoulders forward as you broaden the upper back. We'll do that one more time. Breathe, shoulders up to ears, keep the head steady. Back behind you, squeeze. Down away from the ears, breathe. And forward as you broaden. And then back to center. Stretch and move in any way that feels good. Maybe a light tilt of the head side to side. And then next we'll come into seated cat and cow, so feet planted down firm and flat. On your inhale, sending heart and chest forward as you squeeze shoulder blades back again. And on your exhale, round spine, tuck chin. Maybe the spine goes further back to the chair. So finding your own rhythm, nice and slow as you move. You can stay with your breathing rhythm. If you'd like to explore a little different movement, you can step the feet a little wider apart and maybe start to incorporate large or smaller circles depending on hips and low back of whatever time of day that you're doing the practice. Anytime you're working circles, just be sure to reverse the circles. Breathe. And slowly make your way back to center wherever you are. Heel toe the feet a little closer together if you had them wide. Next we'll work on chest and tops of arms here, biceps, even to the upper back, eagle arms. Crossing your right arm across the chest, hug right arm in with left elbow. And try to keep your hands and fingers somewhat engaged. So if you notice they're just kind of hanging out, trying to maybe spread fingers wide, or you can draw fingers closer together. Sit up tall, elbows forward, maybe your left fingertips reaching towards the ceiling. Unwrap, reach to back of chair, gentle lean forward for some traction through the whole spine. Be sure to keep all four legs of the chair on the floor. Slowly come to sit back up. Crossing left arm across the chest, hug in with your right elbow. Sit up tall, breathe. Slowly unwrap the arms, reach back. Once again, a gentle lean forward. Coming to sit back up. Step the feet a little wider apart. Coming into a seated forward fold. Now, as you come to fold forward, if you know you tend to get dizziness or vertigo, keep your forehead, or your head rather, in line with your heart so that you're not dropping the head below the heart. But if you don't and you feel like that's more accessible for you, you can come all the way forward. So maybe the fingertips or palms even do reach the floor. Head and neck relax. If you're keeping your head in line with heart and you're not folding all the way, keep your forearms on the thighs. And same thing, lengthen head forward, but you can still relax chin towards the chest. Do what feels right. Deep breaths into low back area. If you ever need to come out of any of the postures before my mark, please listen to your body and do so. Nice and slow, start to make your way back up. Once you come to sit up, take the backs of the hands to the inside of the thighs. And maybe a gentle press to the inner part of the thighs. Maybe you roll to the outer edges of the feet as you sit up a little taller. Notice where you maybe feel this lengthening or even a stretch to the inner parts of legs. And then slowly release. Still keeping feet wide, extended side angle. Right forearm comes down to right thigh. If that's too low, you can keep the right hand on the thigh. Slowly lift up and over with opposite arm. Now, as you lift, if you notice that you're collapsing and you're not feeling much of a stretch here, I invite you to maybe bend your elbow and send the back of hand to low back. As you do that, keep drawing the top shoulder up towards the ceiling. Heart and chest open. You can look forward or down if the neck hurts. In fact, sometimes I like the bent elbow variation because it invites in more of this broadening of the chest and expansiveness. And then nice and slow, come back to center. And then off to your left side, left forearm down. Reach up and over with the right. And again, if you feel like that's too restricted on the shoulder or there's any pinching or pain there, you can bend the elbow and keep rotating top shoulder up. Breathe. Slowly come back to center. Heel toe the feet a little closer together. Next, coming into seated pigeon. So this is a hip opener, and if you find that it's not accessible with either foot, the other option here can be a seated butterfly pose where the knees go wide and maybe soles of feet touch. If you'd like to try on, we're starting with the right leg first, and you can kind of reach for the pant leg if you need, crossing right ankle just above your left knee. Now, if your knee's up here, mine's kind of high today, that's okay. What you're trying to do here, if you can, is maybe light massage with the palm or even with your forearm just to send a little more of that upper body weight to the inner part of the leg. Try not to press on the knee itself, but definitely maybe that fleshy part of the thigh or the inside of the calf there. If you don't have shoes on and you'd like to kind of give yourself a nice little foot massage, since you can access the foot here with the hand, you're welcome to do that as well. Maybe rolling out the ankle. Now, if this one feels really good for you, feel free to pause the video and hang out here for a little bit. And then when you're ready, slowly release. If you're in butterfly, draw the knees back to center, windshield wiper knees side to side. Opposite side, or return to butterfly pose, reaching for left ankle and sending the ankle just above the knee there. Noticing the difference of your right and left side, but also be aware of the bottom foot. So my right ankle is just underneath my knee. If you're back here, that can be a little unsteady and off balance. So try your best to keep that front foot flat and maybe just underneath that bottom knee. Breathe. Again, maybe a nice little foot massage here. And then nice and slow, find your way out. Windshield wiper knees side to side. We'll make our way up to standing for the standing portion of the practice. When you do come to standing, taking the chair in front of you, maybe the back of the chair so you have enough height here. But of course, you're welcome to have the seat of the chair facing you as well. If you're using a mat, make sure that you draw all four legs of the chair to the top of the mat, using and leaving all four legs of the chair there. So at first coming to mountain pose, this is just, I don't want to say simple, but this basic stance of standing as erect as possible, and we start to really feel what muscles turn on to keep us standing nice and straight. So if it's accessible, you can draw the feet together to touch, but that may be a little unstable. So maybe drawing the feet about hips distance apart. Maybe you have to have a nice little light bend of the knees, navel and tailbone draw towards each other. I like to send the palms to the navel and the tailbone just to kind of feel that pelvic tilt that maybe we all naturally have. Maybe it's kind of back or forward. So just finding your neutral spine. It's different for all of us. And then the arms to your sides. Maybe palms face forward. Breathe. Taking hands to chair, step back to downward facing dog. Feet flat, maybe a little wider than hips distance or about hips distance. You can kind of sway the hips here, maybe knees bend and then straighten. Just kind of getting a little curious with how the body feels. And slowly walking feet forward towards the back of the chair again. Standing back up, roll the shoulders. Before we come into more of the standing portion of the practice, just a few kind of leg strengtheners. Calf lifts is one of them. Feet hips distance apart. Use the chair for balance, or if you want to challenge yourself, a light touch of the chair. On your inhale, lift heels off of the floor. On the exhale, lower heels back down. So if that was challenging for you, you're welcome to try maybe one foot and then the other, almost like a Stairmaster, if that feels better for the ankles. And again, use the chair for balance if you need, or challenge your balance a bit. Inhale is up, exhale is down. And as you come down, another challenge can be lowering as slow as you can go. You're welcome to take a break if you need, do a few more. Maybe hold at the top, but if you hold, breathe. Do one more. Lower back down. Maybe take a nice lean on the chair, roll out the ankles. Next, keep your right foot forward, step the left foot back. We're coming to a high lunge. Front knee is bent, back heel is lifted, and trying to keep your back knee straight here. You can use the chair for balance, you can take your hands to hips, you can lift the arms up overhead. Maybe you want to try one arm, so if you're going to try one arm, I encourage you to try the opposite arm. So try lifting left, keeping hand on chair, right hand on chair. A few more breaths here. If your balance is not great today, or any other day for that matter, but you really want to challenge it, feel free to maybe step your front foot a little wider, creating a nice wide stamp, rather than trying this kind of tightrope sensation. Just to really build your confidence. And then maybe the next time you do the practice, the foot steps a little closer to the center. Next time you do it, steps a little closer. So you start to see how it can build. Take one more breath. Now from here, we're going to take off to a one-legged balance, Warrior 3. Start to shift your weight into your front foot, hands to chair, lift up off the back leg to your degree. Your back foot maybe is a little lower, maybe it comes fairly high. Keep lengthening crown of head forward. Try not to lock into that bottom knee. Take a nice little bend, micro bend of the knee, so you're really focusing on building your quadricep here. One more breath. Bend the front knee, step back with the back foot. Warrior 2, ground down your back heel, bend into the front knee again. So now your hips are a little more open. Right hand to chair or both arms out to a T. Shoulders away from the ears, breathe. Straighten front leg. Take hand to chair or forearm to chair. If your feet are fairly wide, step the back foot a little closer. Both legs are straight. Lift up top arm, triangle. Look up to top thumb, forward or down if your neck hurts. Breathe. Last breath. Take the top hand down to the chair. Step your back foot out and slightly forward. Hamstring stretch. This is one of my favorites. Both feet are flat. There's about a 3-foot distance between your front and back foot. Now, you can keep your hands on the chair, trying to keep both legs straight as you lean, or you can take the forearms on the chair. Maybe you rest the forehead. Deep breaths into the backs of your legs here. Slowly rise up. Step the back foot forward. Pedal out the legs. Come back to standing. Notice if you feel a difference of the right and left side. When you're ready, downward facing dog again. Hands to chair. Step feet back. Walk feet forward. Coming to the left side, left foot stays forward, right foot steps back, high lunge. Your variation, one side's going to tell you something a little different. You can stay closer with that tightrope, or again, you can step your front foot out a little wider. Hands to hips, maybe one hand to chair. If you're doing that, you want to try lifting an arm, try lifting the opposite arm. Meaning you'll try to lift your right arm this time. Last breath. Warrior 3, one-legged balance. Shift weight into front foot, lift, take off of back foot. Remember, try not to lock in the bottom knee. Micro bend that bottom knee. Breathe. Bend front knee, step back with back foot. You may have to adjust the distance of the feet here for Warrior 2. Front knee bends, hips open, left hand to chair or left arm forward, maybe right arm back behind you. Relax shoulders away from ears. Warrior 2. Straighten front leg, left hand or left forearm to chair, lift up, triangle. Top hand comes down to chair, back foot steps out and slightly forward for hamstring stretch. Both feet flat, forearms come down or forearms and then the forehead stacks on top. Breathe. Last breath. Rise up. Back foot steps forward. Pedal out the legs. Next, coming into tree pose, one-legged balance. You can have the chair in front of you. If you prefer, you can come to either side of the chair if that feels more comfortable. So once you find your mountain pose, start to shift your weight into your, we'll do right foot, left toes get light. Open up from the hip, taking your foot or heel to either the ankle or the shin. Trying to keep the hips open, using the chair for balance, or maybe a light touch of the fingers on the chair. Like we mentioned before, with the high lunge, you're welcome to maybe lift up opposite arm. So it would be your right arm. Breathe. You can stay here as long as you'd like to really challenge yourself, but for time's sake, we'll come out. Roll out your standing leg. Coming back to mountain pose, shifting the weight into your left leg, right toes get light. Open up from the hip, taking the heel to either the opposite ankle or shin. Never on the knee joint itself. So ankle or shin. If you'd like to explore further, you can take the foot to the inside of the groin. For myself, that just gets a little too kind of tense there. So this is just kind of perfect for where maybe I need to work. You can also keep the ball of the foot down. You can see here. So ball of the foot down and then heel to opposite ankle. Your arm variation of choice. Find a focal point. Try to keep your breath slow and deep. Release. Roll out standing leg. Making your way back into your seat. And again, I encourage you to draw your seat just to the seat's edge so the pelvis can kind of tilt forward, the spine's nice and long. We'll come into a spinal twist. Keep your left hand to left knee or thigh, twist to your right side. Coming back to center, right hand to right knee or thigh, and twisting open to your left side. Breathe. Return to center. Staying towards the edge of your seat, if you'd like, you can come to sit back. Palms down or face up on the thighs or knees. Softly float the eyes closed. Bringing your attention to your breathing again. Notice if it's a little quick still, especially if things got challenging, if it was difficult to slow it down, that's okay. Now that we're towards the end of the practice, maybe you're intentionally slowing your breath down. Maybe you found that it was slow the entire time. Scanning the body from toe to head. Noticing what's shifted within this last half hour. You can stay here as long as you'd like. When you're ready, guiding the palms to touch in front of your heart. Thank you for tuning in to this all-incorporative chair yoga practice, and we'll see you soon. Peace.